All right, so hi everyone, welcome back to FBM Fox. Here we have Naeem Jutt, who is sort of a power seller and a veteran in the space of e-commerce and dropshipping wholesale. He's done a lot of those things, and he's just going to join us for a short conversation about Facebook shops, the Facebook landscape, and all of that good stuff. So I'm glad to have you on here with us,
Hey,
Naeem.
thanks for having me, Dan. I appreciate it.
Right. So we just wanted to start off by asking you to give us like an introduction of your e-commerce journey and your sales history and the different platforms that you've sold on.
Sure. So I've been I've been selling for 6+ years. My background, I was an IT guy. I was a VP of a big data company and did the corporate life for 20+ years. But I got into Amazon, private label, and then drop shipping and retail. I've kind of done it all. And I am super excited about Facebook. We got into Facebook sales I would say about 6 months ago. And I think the opportunity with Facebook right now is the opportunity with Amazon 5 years ago. Everything is just exploding. So we're heavily moving into Facebook.
Right. So how many years have you been selling on other platforms for?
6+ years,
Okay. And it was primarily Amazon?
primarily Amazon. Yeah, but we have sold on eBay. We've done Shopify. We've done Groupon. Groupon was big for us, but now predominantly the big players, Amazon and eBay.
Okay, sounds good. And do you have a team helping you out? Like, do you run these things yourself? Are you a full-time seller on these platforms? What's your story with that?
So we are at one point we were top 0.5% on Amazon.
Oh,
We were
wow.
doing over 10 million a year,
Mhm.
and we had a team of 50+ VAs in the Philippines. Amazon changed their policies on drop shipping. That had a big impact on us. We're still doing millions of dollars, but not quite $10 million. And now I think we're about 20 employees that we have, or VAs that we have in the Philippines. So yeah, we're pretty full production operation running all of our stores.
Right. So the 10 million in sales or multiple millions in sales, was that through drop shipping only?
Predominantly drop shipping, 90
Okay.
plus percent drop shipping. Yeah.
And it was retail arbitrage?
Retail arbitrage. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Mhm.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that those are
Yeah.
very impressive numbers. So yeah, so what do you think about Facebook shops versus Facebook personal? What's your experience with it so far, from an overview? And really, what made you want to come to Facebook? You could have went to like
Mhm.
Etsy, or you could have went to
Right.
Mercari, let's say, but why Facebook?
So I honestly believe that the Facebook opportunity today is as big as Amazon was, like I said, 5, 6 years ago. It's brand new. The early movers can take advantage of the Facebook play and really make a lot of money. So Facebook Shops is not charging any fees, selling fees until June. I mean, that's like 8, 9 months of free selling. And so obviously they are focused in building a competitive marketplace to Amazon. They want sellers to come in and sell on Facebook, and they've made it fairly easy. There's not a lot of barriers to entry. So I think it's exciting because of the massive reach that they have, right? Amazon is the
Mhm.
place where people just gravitate to because it's the largest shopping cart, on the web, right?
Right.
And Facebook is the largest platform, or one of the largest platforms, because that's where people hang out, right? So it just makes sense that they're going to make this play. And so as a result, when you have this massive crowd and you have a sales, potential, it just makes sense. So the intersection of these two things, the amount of people on Facebook and the ability to sell, is super exciting. So we've been doing some testing the last couple of months, understanding the place, the platform, understanding how things work. And from our testing, we're very, very excited. Now when I
Right.
say we, I'm talking about our team.
Right.
And to be honest, we're more focused on Facebook in some degree than even Amazon right now. Right?
Right.
Amazon's going through a lot of upheaval right now with how they're dealing with drop shippers. It's not that we don't sell on Amazon, but it's just chaotic. There's a lot of competition. And with Facebook, they've kind of opened their doors, opened their arms to us. So we are just very, very excited. They've removed a lot of the barriers. Now, is it going to stay like this? I guess in a year or so, it's going to be a different platform. But
Right.
as of right now, we believe now is the time to get embedded. Now is the time to get in there and claim your stake, meaning mature your shop, get those reviews in, get the customer base, get that reputation, so on and so forth, so that you literally can become one of the dominant selling stores or Facebook shops on Facebook, and then be set up, for the future as Facebook opens up more features and opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I've done drop shipping on eBay primarily and a little bit of Amazon, and nowhere close to the numbers you've done, right? But
Right.
I can tell Facebook is a giant opportunity, and it gives me comfort to know that a power seller just like yourself believes the same way. Now, back to sort of the mindset thing, right? So you said you were back in corporate America, right? And when did you
Right.
sort of decide to make the switch to say, "Hey, I'm going to be an e-commerce seller full time"? And when did you realize, like, "Hey, this is something that I'm actually going to pursue for or go all out"? You said you had 50 team members, so what made you
Mhm.
want to do that?
What made me want to quit the corporate life?
Yeah.
Okay. So the short answer is I worked, my tail off to get to the level that I achieved in the corporate life. I became a vice president of a big data company. For 20 plus years, I was traveling and consulting with clients. I was a management consultant. But I was burned out for many, many years, and I was not seeing my family. I had a 3 or 4 year old at that time, and I wasn't seeing him a whole lot except on the weekends. And I just got to the point that one day I brought my car into my mechanic. We had a Lexus SUV, bring that in,
Mhm.
and the mechanic is working on my car. And I knew this mechanic because we went to him for years. And I looked at this guy, and here he is, wearing his t-shirt and mechanic outfit. And the guy is like super greasy and dirty and this and that. And here I am, wearing my consultant outfit, nice shirt and all this and all that. And the juxtaposition of that, the irony of that really kind of hit me. And I was like, who's really well off over here? I've got a nice job, a corporate job. This guy's working his tail off, but he owns his mechanic shop. He's got employees working for him, and he's probably making 2 or 3 times what I'm making. And he makes his own hours, and he doesn't have people that he has to answer to directly.
Right.
And so I thought, I could probably take my skills, what I'm doing in my day-to-day life, and apply it and make more money for myself. And the goal was not to make more money, but to have more freedom to do what I
Right.
really want to do. And that visit to the mechanic and that thought really stuck with me.
Mhm.
And then over the next 6 months, I said, okay, I got to let go and do that. So that was about 6.5 years ago that I made the decision, and I never looked back. I've gotten job offers since then, but there's no ceiling when you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
Now I have to counter that with some of the idiocy that I see online, where people are like, oh, don't go to school and don't get a job. That's
Yeah.
complete BS. People just like to say that. I think the corporate life and work life gave me a lot of experience that I
Mhm.
am now putting to use in my own business. And that's what I like to tell students is that, just take what you are good at, whether it's marketing or sales or whatever you learned on the job, organization and apply that and start slow. This does not happen overnight.
Right. So when you were working your normal job, were you making sales on the side, or did you, just quit your job and then go all out? How did
No,
that
no,
work?
I did build myself a parachute. I was
Right.
doing some sales on the side, because I think it's unrealistic to just completely, jump off the cliff and try to build a business and all this and all that. I think it's, maybe even irresponsible. But
Right.
I think if most people, honestly, they do have the time in the evenings, they do have the time on the weekends. However, most people are not necessarily willing to give up 2 hours of Netflix every night
Yeah.
and 5 hours of Netflix on the weekends, and whatever it is that leisure time they like to do. So it takes some sweat equity. There's no getting around that. If
Of
you
course.
are truly committed, then you gotta get your night shift on, and you gotta get your weekend shift on, and you gotta put in those hours for years, not months, years.
Right, right. Yeah, I like to go over these things because a lot of the people that are coming into the e-commerce world are very new, even now.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, so were you making a certain amount of sales when you realized, like, was there a number like, oh, I'm gonna make 30,000 in sales, then I
Right.
can start taking this seriously, or 50,000? Like, how was that?
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody has a different level of comfort, but for me, when I started hitting about half of what I thought I would need,
Right,
then I said, okay, I'm comfortable with this. My bills could be paid. I'm not making as much money as I could with my corporate job, but I could see the road, right?
right,
I'm on the road. I'm making sales. I've kind of figured out the basic model, and there's still some risk, but it's good enough that I'm not going to be like borrowing money from my family or anything like that.
right,
And that was it. So whatever that level of comfort is, and for some people it's going to be less, some people it's going to be more, but I did build a little runway, financial
right.
runway, before I made that decision.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, back to the shops thing. When a company gives out something for free, especially if it's such a big thing, like no fees whatsoever. eBay on the low
Right. Right.
end charges you
Right.
12% fees, and
Yep.
you've sold millions, so
Yeah.
10% of a million is like 100,000. Amazon
Wow.
charges 15%,
Right.
150,000 on $1 million, and Facebook is
Yep.
giving you something completely for free, which is phenomenal. And take it
Right.
firsthand from FBM Fox, right? We have a free lister, and if we give
Mhm.
something out for free, we really want you to use it. So it's clear that Facebook really wants sellers to be on their platform.
Absolutely.
Um, so you've been using FBM Fox for a while, before the shops trend sort of caught on, and you started
Mhm.
fiddling with shops recently, right? But before that, for a couple months, you've been using personal marketplace. So just using FBM Fox, how has that helped your business? I know you have employees and all of that. So just tell
Right.
me a little bit about that.
So when we started selling on Facebook, again, Facebook is new. There's not a lot of tools out there. We were pretty much doing everything manually, meaning that I taught my team to find best-selling products on Amazon, best-selling products on Walmart, Home Depot, the typical big box online retailers, and just
Mhm.
look for bestsellers and set a profit margin anywhere from 10% to 30% plus, and start experimenting and just posting it on Facebook. But that's obviously labor intensive, right? Finding a
Yeah.
product, copying pictures, copying the text, the description, copying the title, coming up with the tags and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty labor intensive. On average, my team could do 30, 40, maybe, the better ones, listings per day. And uh, and so it's labor intensive.
Right.
Then we looked around at some of the tools. We looked at ZDrop. We looked at a few other tools. We tested them, and then we saw, a lot of potential. I mean, there was good tools that could save you a lot of time with the whole copying and pasting. And then of course, you know, you and I ran into each other, and we started using FBM Fox, and we haven't looked back. And so with FBM Fox, we've been able to essentially triple our productivity. Just the whole copy pasting, you know, is a huge factor. And then, so the couple of things that I really love about FBM Fox, one is the import of the product, right? So that's super fast compared to doing it manually. The second is the inventory and price sync, right? And I can't tell you how important, well, you already know how important that particular feature is. When we were doing it manually, we did have circumstances where, you know, if we had 100 products on our Facebook marketplace, something went out of stock, right? Or the price changed. Well, that was a loss for us. And we may have to cancel that particular order. These are the kind of things that can get you in trouble on your performance, you know, Facebook, eBay, Amazon, they don't like it when you cancel orders on the customer. So that was, you know, that's risky. So with FBM Fox and the ability of the, you know, every hour, every 2 hours, checking inventory and automatically removing the product that is out of stock or changing the price because the price has gone up, that becomes really critical for us and kind of a no-brainer. So now our inventory is up to date. We don't have to worry about out of stock orders. We don't have to worry about losses on profit if the prices go up, etc. So that's a huge factor for us. And then I'm going to be very selfish here and tell you that I would love to see auto ordering, right? I'd love to see, you know, the next piece, the evolution of FBM Fox, where we can have as much of that selling life cycle automated as possible.
Yeah, so that was actually my next question. What would you like to see? But I guess you've answered it. And any other tips?
Just make my life easier, man. I'm lazy. I don't want to do work. Just have the tool do everything for me.
Make everything one click or no clicks whatsoever.
One big button.
So Naeem has actually helped us, you know, stress test the software for a couple months. You know, he came in with his team, and we were like, hey, you know, you can try us out. And you know, immediately he started finding issues here and there, minor issues, and we would get on it, you know, immediately and fix it. So, you know, if FBM Fox is seamless for you, there is some credit going to Naeem with his and his team helping us out in making it
really, really my team. Really my team, but I appreciate that.
Okay, so on to the next question. Let's see. So so how have your numbers been based on your personal marketplace and then based on shops? And really, I know we were discussing about some pricing and how that has affected your shop sales. So if you could go over that, that would be cool.
So you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure. I can make you the host.
Okay. I think we can share it without that.
Oh, yeah, give it a try.
It says host disabled participant screen share. So if you just turn on screen sharing for me, that should work.
Yeah, okay. All right, just try.
All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are running about 4 different stores / marketplaces. Actually, we're running 1 shop and 3 marketplaces right now. And what I'm showing you is our latest shop. And we started on marketplaces like everybody else, and now we've shifted onto shops because I think shops is truly the selling platform rather than marketplace. And it's much more robust. And you know, I've been super impressed with the amount of tools that they've provided us and insight that they've given us. So to answer your question, sales. Okay, so this particular shop we started testing right around the beginning of September. You can see here, September 10th. And this here is sales or units sold. Okay, so we sold 2 units. on September 10th. And then we were testing, here's 1 unit, 3 units, 1 unit, so on and so forth. All this was basically just a test. And we probably had, I want to say 100 products, 100, 150 products here.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's really important for, for your viewers to know is that, look, you're not going to throw 5 products on Facebook Shops and make a sale.
Yeah.
That's not the way it works, right? You've got to have some portfolio. You've got to have, you got to invest a few weeks and build up a portfolio of 50, 100, 200 before you're going to start seeing sales. Okay.
Right.
But we were doing a lot of testing. We were trying to understand the platform. How does it work? How do we respond to customers? There's a lot of wonky things with Facebook Shops. So Facebook Shops is associated to a page, and you'll get chat messages that come in from your page, but you'll also get messages that come in from your shop. I mean, there's some really weird things. And so it takes time to discover all those things, right? That's why you don't want to dive into it, head first. You got to really kind of understand it, test it. And as we matured as sellers ourselves and kind of got a rhythm going and understood, what was going on, we then started to spend a lot of time dumping, as many products as we could.
Right.
So right around here, we basically went from 100 products. Around here, by this time, we were probably closer to 500 products.
Right.
Okay. So our first focus was just sourcing. Okay. And then right around here, we decided to open the doors. And what I mean by that is we lowered our margin. Okay. So right here, when we're testing, we set high margins of about 30, 40%. And we weren't trying to make a lot of sales because we wanted to see how it works. The 1 or 2 sales was good enough for us. And then when we got to here, we lowered our margin to about 15%, 10, 15%. And immediately we went from 1 sale, 0 sales to 12 sales.
Right.
And then 19 sales, 19 sales, 20, 22, 32. And then our last day here is 20 sales.
So right when you see the orders shoot up, right? How many products did you have when the order shot up and you reduced your margin?
Yeah, so right around here, we probably had several hundred. I would say maybe 300, 400.
300 products. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very less.
Yeah, now again, we could have brought in this spike right here. Okay. We could have lowered our margins right here and said, oh, let's just do aggressive margins of 10%. Okay.
Right.
But if I had 20 sales here, I don't know if I would have handled it properly because, there's a lot of tools and you just have to learn a lot of things. And I can't stress how important it is that you go slow because if you get bad performance, you only get so many chances. You might get your account suspended, and we didn't want to do that. Yeah,
I made that mistake actually. I shared it with you, and I think I shared it with the audience also. I got 31 sales in like 12 hours, and I wasn't checking my emails or anything. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to fill these? So definitely take Naeem's advice and go a little
slow.
Go a little slow. So how do the profits on, I think that looks like about October 1st, things started taking off. And right now it's like October 8th.
Yeah.
September. So it's been about 8 days, 9 days. Yeah. So how do profits look like?
So again, we have a very few number of orders here. The majority of our orders are right here. You can see our total sales is about 7,600.
Right.
Our average order size is about $46. And our margins are, like I said, between 10 and 15%.
Okay. So just taking the 10 and 15%, so you've made over $1,000 in the past 8 days, I'm guessing.
We're averaging about $100 of profit per day right now. And I still consider all this to be test. Like even this to me is a test. Right.
Okay.
So I expect that, when we're open throttle, right? When we're going all out and we have matured our sales engine, that this will go up 5x, 6x.
Right. I think it could go up 10x. So
Probably. Yeah.
in those 8 days, what was your average number of products on your account?
Right now, we are at about 1,000 products right now, just a little over 1,000 products.
Currently,
Because
right?
we're adding, yeah, we're adding every day. We're adding
Yes,
every day.
but over the past 7 days, like what would you say the average products would be? Because sales sort of roll in after you add products.
Right,
So,
right. So I would say right here in the beginning, by the
mhm,
time we got to this, we're probably at about 300 products.
right.
Now we're at 1,000. Okay. So
Okay.
you can kind of see, we added 50 a day, sometimes 75 a day, so on and so forth.
Right. So I would say, if you have 600 products, it's safe to assume that you can achieve this sort of revenues, right? Um, I
You could, right, if you have 600 products. I mean, again, it's a formula that you can play with. You could
right,
do this with 300 products, okay,
right.
and be more aggressive on your margin.
Yeah,
Give better deals.
yeah,
But you have to choose the right products. So
yeah,
we like to choose bestsellers. We like to choose commodity products.
right.
Um, we're not choosing Alibaba products, right? We're
Mhm.
choosing everything that is on the bestsellers list from Amazon and Walmart for the home. So it's
Yeah,
going to be dishes, it's going to be tables, it's going to be, whatever. It's going to be toys, it's going to be all the popular stuff that you see on Amazon's front page and Walmart's front page.
right. Right. So the other reason I asked you about the number of products is because in FBM Fox, if you have a 500 product plan that pulls
Right.
items over to shop and does a remonitoring, repricing, that would only cost you about $50 a month. So at your current pace, if you're making $100 a day and you're paying for a software that costs 50 a month, that is well worth it, right? And on top
Yeah,
of
I mean,
that,
that's a
mhm,
no-brainer. That's a
yeah,
no-brainer.
yeah,
I can't keep adding more and more people onto my team to handle this. I can't.
yeah,
It doesn't make sense, right? I
yeah,
need tools. And
yeah.
so FBM Fox is critical.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just getting started, you're just testing. You can easily, if we're saying 600 products with our bulk uploader, you could put up 5,000 products in a day easily. We have the videos on all that coming out on a regular basis. So, you can, for the person out there that's looking to make a part-time sales income through e-commerce, I mean, Facebook is where you can do it. So, and we have the numbers
So I
here
got
to
to tell
prove.
you,
Hmm.
I got to tell you, man, there's
Hmm.
like, I get caught up with the shiny ball syndrome, right?
Right.
So with the bulk uploader, I have a
Right.
list of about 10,000 products. And I got to tell you, man, I got to hold myself back because it is so easy for me to take that 10,000 list and
Yeah.
just throw it into the bulk uploader and throw
Yeah.
10,000 products into the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
But that would not be smart. Even though it's so tempting, it would
Yeah.
not be smart, right? What
Yeah.
happens if all of a sudden we got 1,000 orders, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to ease into it. But the goal is to actually do 10,000, 20,000,
Yeah.
50,000 products
Yeah.
over an amount of time that we can handle it. So the
Yeah.
idea definitely in Facebook is, I believe it's volume. If you
Hmm.
want to be a drop shipper, right?
Yeah.
If you own a brand, it's a different thing. But if you want to be a drop shipper, it's going to be volume,
Hmm.
and it's going to be making sure your processes are mature. Now,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, with the data feed, if you read what it says, because Facebook has a data feed where you can basically upload in bulk,
Yeah.
their statement says that they can handle up to 1 million products.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Facebook is serious. Like,
Yeah.
they're not thinking small things. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to let you upload 1 million products, actually more than 1 million, because they
Yeah.
said the limit is million per feed, and you
Right.
could do multiple feeds. So these guys are really, really serious. So that's
Yeah.
why, I get excited about this, because I'm like, wow, this is the Wild West, and we are one of the pioneers getting in here
Yeah.
early,
Yeah.
and anybody can do this.
Yeah. I feel like this conversation alone has so much value that maybe we shouldn't post it. because
Don't give it away.
there's just so much information in this interview alone.
Right.
So how many days did it take you to get approved for a shop? You know, did you have to have a US LLC? All these things. How
Yeah.
did all
Yeah.
that work out for you?
Yeah. Facebook Shops is so okay. So Marketplace is restricted to the US. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I'm currently living in Malaysia, so even though
Right.
I'm American, I couldn't sell in the marketplace from my own account, right?
Right.
So I had to get some friends and whatever, and kind of had to hack the system using VPSs,
Right.
which was a real pain. Now, Facebook Shops is wide open.
Right.
As long as I've got a LLC number in there, and actually don't even need an LLC, you could do it under your own social.
Right.
They'll allow that. So
Yeah.
Facebook Shops, I'm sitting here in Malaysia selling in the US, absolutely no problems.
But you are
So
a US resident though.
yeah.
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 Okay.
So we put in our LLC number and EIN number and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was pretty instantaneous. It was same day, that we got approved. So like I
Really.
said, Facebook has removed those barriers of entry.
Mhm.
So anybody who is doing business, I think can open a shop within an hour. I mean,
Right.
the approval process was very quick.
So we've dealt with a few companies that are actually bringing on many clients, and
Right.
it's weird.
Right.
Some clients get approved instantly, and others don't. So from right now,
Yeah.
I got approved quite instantly. I think it's the same for
Right.
you, but I think about
Yeah.
50% of the people just don't get approved, or they have to wait for a while, and
Right.
then Facebook just sort of approves them out of the blue.
Right.
So I guess that is a barrier to entry to start,
Right.
which is
Right.
great because we'll make more sales in the meantime.
Yeah. Keep it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But listen, if you're not approved,
yeah.
and this is where you got to be thinking like an entrepreneur. Okay.
Yeah.
When I see obstacles, I get excited.
Right.
And I know that's a cliche, but I do, because I'm like, I'm willing to solve 9 problems, and you're not, and that's
Right.
good.
Right.
So if you don't get approved, dude, you should be, getting your sister to open a shop. You should be getting your brother, your father, your mother, your cousin, your
Right.
neighbor, your dog,
Right.
whatever. Like just do it, Yeah.
So the other thing that people say is when you trying to get approved for a shop, you need to have a legitimate website. You need to have a legitimate business, page, like a Facebook page with proper graphics and followers.
Right.
In my experience, that doesn't matter because my page looks
Right.
horrible and I don't even have a website link. I didn't link anything there. So in
Right.
your experience, did you have to go through that route? Did you create a Shopify website to link to your shops to get
No.
approved? Okay.
No. But you bring up a good point, which is that this is beta, guys. This is, Facebook is testing this. So things change, and they might be different for me or different for you, because they are testing stuff. So again, I think right now it's relatively easy to get in there, but it, just like every other platform, it will become saturated and they will make things tougher. So, but I think that'll take months. I think that'll take time. So right now they've said until June of next year, there's no fee. Well, they're telling you that. They're telling you something, right? They're telling you the gates are wide open right now. Come on in until June.
Yeah.
June, I think they're probably going to change things a little bit when they start introducing fees. So if they say, hey, you better have a page, well, go make a page. If they want a website, go make a website. Right? None of this stuff is difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember speaking to customers on calls and screen shares when we were trying to automate the Facebook personal marketplace accounts for repricing and all this stuff. And they would say, oh, I have 1,000 listings. And I would be like, oh my God, 1,000 listings so much, it's going to be really hard to automate things. Well, now with shops, you can put up 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 listings, in a day or less, like in an hour, right? If you know what you're doing, everything properly.
Right.
And the sky's the limit because it doesn't charge you for fees on sales. It doesn't charge you for fees on each product while listing it. You don't have to pay for a Facebook store or anything like that. So it's pretty insane how fast things moved. And I think Mark Zuckerberg is very reactive, where I think in
Right.
June he came out and he said, yeah, we're going to integrate shops with Marketplace. And that was just a major game changer. So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential here.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
So is there, I guess we're nearing the end of our conversation, but is there any questions that you had for me, or, you know, a prompt that you'd like to tell our audience, where they could comment on the video, things of that nature? Where can they find you? Are you on socials? You know, all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm on Facebook, of course, right?
Mhm.
Naeem Jutt, just look me up. My website is naeemjutt.com,
Mhm.
naeemjutt.com. You can find me there. A lot of people have been asking me for a Facebook course, and I need to carve out the time and get serious about that. But I am planning on putting out a course in a few
Right.
weeks. So if you friend me or join our Facebook group, then you can take advantage of that. And we're going to put together the whole end-to-end how to do this properly, how to register your business and get an LLC, how to do proper customer service, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And then the only other thing I would say, look, everybody's looking for a hustle. Everybody's looking to start something. And honestly, this is one of the most exciting things in the e-commerce domain.
Mhm.
This is what I, tell people about. I'm talking more about Facebook than I am about Amazon, right?
Right.
Which I still make a lot more money with Amazon, but I'm
Right.
talking more about this because I
Right.
think the opportunity is absolutely tremendous, and really anybody can do it. So as
Right.
long as you get in there, understand that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, understand the system, understand how to source products, understand how to have good customer service. It really is, very, very simple to get into this and establish a 5-figure, 6-figure store within
Mhm.
9 months, or a year.
Yeah.
And that's, really all there is to it. Just source and take your store seriously, handle your customers, and do good customer service and scale. Hire a
Mhm.
VA and scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure having you on, Naeem. Honestly, you bring a lot of insights. Now, to close the video and sort of plug FBM Fox. So, like Naeem said, FBM Fox is critical for his business. So go ahead and give it a free trial. Link in the description below. 7-day free trial. You can cancel with one click. And if you don't want to do the free trial, and you just want to test out the software, we have a completely free lister in which you can list unlimited products to Facebook Marketplace. So go ahead and check those things out, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look for Naeem online, and really that's it. So we'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.
Thanks for having me.